I love making tacos, fresh tacos. Maybe it's because I'm from Los Angeles and it's part of our culture to have LA street tacos, but it's something that I love to have on the regular. But it's really important and imperative, not just for health, but also taste, to make your own homemade corn tortillas. And that's what I'm going to be sharing with you guys today. Welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Autumn, for those of you guys who don't know who I am. I'm a certified clinical nutritionist as well as a certified personal trainer with my master's in sports nutrition. Now, on my channel, I talk about everything that has to do with health and wellness, whether it be recipes or types of ways to improve your performance. Whatever it may be, I talk about it on this channel with all the latest update information. So if that's what you're interested in, make sure that you give my channel a subscribe. So today, I'm going to be going over how to make homemade one ingredient corn tortillas. So not only does making your own corn tortillas make it so that it improves the nutritional value because you aren't getting the preservatives that are involved in other types of tortillas if you get them in the store, but there's a couple other things that happen. So first of all, the first and only ingredient when it comes to homemade corn tortillas is masa harina. Masa harina is different than other types of just regular cornmeal. That's a question I get a lot. What's the difference? So masa harina is where corn has been soaked in lime water. And this process makes it so that niacin, which is a B vitamin, becomes more bioavailable. If you just have regular cornmeal, you won't get niacin, and so that can lead to issues like pellagra. So it makes the niacin more bioavailable, but this process also makes it so it gets rid of any mold toxins too. So you guys know I'm always talking about how mold toxins can relate back to anxiety as well as a bunch of other health issues. So getting rid of mold toxins, this specific one is aflatoxin that can be on corn, is really important for your overall health as well as just your mental state. So I'm always talking about nutritional psychology and how nutrition can affect your state of mind. The recipe calls for 2 cups of masa harina to 1.5 cups water. I've made these for so many years, I just kind of eyeball it for how much I know I'll need. So I'm just making this for my dinner tonight, so I only need it for 1 serving. Maybe have about 1/4 cup, 1/3 cup in there. Now I'm gonna add some water. Okay, now you want your dough, it's gonna be like a dough consistency. So see, it's coming together nicely, it's not crumbling apart. You don't want it to be too wet where, you know, like pancake batter, but you also don't want it to be too dry. You want it just that nice consistency. So this, you can make corn tortillas without any type of equipment, but it's a lot more difficult, takes a lot more time. If you plan on making these even a few times a year, I highly recommend getting a corn tortilla press. So I got this one, I think from Sur La Table, very basic, simple corn tortilla press, and I think it was about $19. So for me, that was a really great investment because I make these, especially during the summer, multiple times a week, and it just really simplifies the process. Okay, so now it's time to roll the tortillas. So while I'm doing this, I have my stovetop preheating. If you don't have some type of griddle, you can also use a pan, preferably a cast iron skillet, that'll be best. This next step is to roll up your masa harina dough into just little balls. So they don't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to be exact, precise amounts. You just wanna make sure that it fits in the palm of your hand and that it's not too big, which you'll see once you go to press it. Okay, so you just put it in the center, and then you fold it over, press down. You've got your first tortilla. And now the next step is to just put it straight on to your griddle without any grease or anything. You just want to put it straight on and make sure that this is on a high heat as well. That'll make so that it can actually heat up the tortilla and cook it, and so it won't stick. So while that's heating, you want to cook it for about 1 minute on each side. We'll make some more tortillas. So this recipe is featured in my Level Up program. It is great for the LA street tacos recipe. I also have a homemade enchilada recipe that's amazing and not difficult to put together actually. I used to make this enchilada recipe all the time when I was in college. So it's very simple. It's actually very inexpensive too, so that's great. Throw this one on next. You can see how quickly this process is going. And it's so worth it. It tastes so good when they're fresh. Looks like I made a little bit extra, a little bit more than what I'm just gonna have for myself. And you don't have to be an experienced cook to make these. You see how simple it is. There's no real technique to it. You just mix, roll them into balls, and flatten it, and then cook it for a minute on each side. Super simple. I also have a homemade pico de gallo recipe, homemade enchilada sauce, homemade black bean, like making beans from scratch recipe. And again, all of these really aren't difficult. It's just knowing the process, and it has so many more health benefits, de-bloating benefits, anxiety reducing benefits, but it's so worth it, and it tastes so good. I can't remember the last time that I bought tortillas easily, because I was making these actually when I first got out of college, so making these for quite a long time. And if you ever have friends over, it's a very inexpensive, very fast way to throw together a healthy meal that they'll be really impressed with. This is always my go-to to make homemade tacos with homemade corn tortillas, because it always just seems so much more impressive than it really is. Now while those cook, I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about my new Level Up program. So it's the next step from the 21-day intermittent fasting program that I've talked with you guys about. So I've definitely talked about the benefits of intermittent fasting. But now, from the results that I saw of the first round and how much people have achieved, I saw the areas that we could actually fine-tune and get even better results out of. So with the Level Up program, I put together 5 different protocols in order to really hone in on your specific goal. So in the beginning, you take a quiz, you determine which protocol is best for you. I have the Beauty Queen, the Gut Healing Guru, the Hormone Balancing Pro, advanced weight loss strategies, as well as the Athlete. You can switch your protocol depending on whatever your goals are. So if you were the athlete, but now you feel like you need to focus on hormone balancing, you can do that. Or if you've achieved your gut healing that you want, you can now move on to the advanced weight loss strategies. So I created this so that you could really move with your goals and be fluid with them and not have to be stuck and pigeonholed into any one category. Because I know that I personally have been every single one of those categories. So if you haven't taken the quiz yet, make sure that you head over to the link that I have in down below, and you can take the quiz, see which protocol is best for you, and make some tacos to go along with it. Okay, so this first batch of 3 is just about done. Now, to make them nice and soft, this is a little trick I've learned. You want to lay out a nice dishcloth, a clean one, and then cover them. And this allows them to steam so they stay nice and warm, but also so they get that nice flexible texture that you want out of a tortilla. So that helps to make it perfect. Okay, so last round. People always think that carbohydrates is the enemy when it comes to anything, I feel like, at this point, but specifically when it comes to weight loss. And of course, corn tortillas are really high in carbohydrates. But one thing I've found with working with my own clients and reading the research, it's less about how many you have and more about the timing of it. So nutrient timing your meals. So rather than restricting yourself of certain types of foods, it's best to just have that proper nutrient timing, which is another thing I really dive into on the science and specifically how to do that in the Level Up program. I still have the other ones cooking, but these ones have sat long enough now. They smell so good, where they are nice and flexible, so you can see that, how they're able to be flexible, which is really important for a taco. You want to be able to fold it up so you can take a bite. So see how flexible that is. That's perfect. You don't get that with store-bought taco shells. Not only are these corn tortillas much healthier for you, they taste great too. Thank you guys for joining me in my kitchen today. This is such an easy recipe, so I can't wait to see you guys making it. And make sure to check out the Level Up program, because it has this plus 48 recipes and a 4-week meal plan and 92 pages of science-backed information that you're going to love. Remember, if you love anything that has to do with nutrition, performance, or really amazing recipes and delicious food, make sure that you subscribe to my channel.